Good evening, good honorable friends, as we say nowadays. I'm holding my phone. This is a very quick little prelude to the video you're about to watch. First of all, twinkly lights, check it out, check them out. I'm here to quickly introduce the next series I will be running on my YouTube channel with my very new friend, my good new friend called Jen. She interviewed me last year, so maybe November time or October time, not sure. And Jen is an art therapist, and we had such a good time on the interview that we said maybe we should do something together for the YouTube channel, like a regular thing. And today or yesterday, editing today, was our first session, which I'm going to share with you in the next moment. And the idea of this series is that we are just going to paint and chat, hang out together, talk about vulnerable, deep stuff, difficult things maybe, in a way to create more connection through vulnerability, I suppose, and to create more connection amongst all of us, really. So I always find that when I listen to or watch people talk very openly and vulnerably, that I feel usually some kind of door opens inside of me, or a wall comes down, and I feel more connected and more. I'm given permission. I mean, I don't really struggle sharing my more deeper stuff anyway, but it feels good when other people do, and I feel like I can do it too. And so what you'll see is that we're arting together. Now, at that point, we hadn't set up our tech yet so that we could actually show our desk as we're working. However, that should be resolved by the next session. So I have tech set up that means that I can share my desk as well as my files, this one, hello. And Jen is also working on it. So I think we both, for the next session, will be able to share what we're doing, what we're creating while we're chatting. Yeah, and so I hope you enjoyed this session. I really enjoyed it. It was just nice and it's a very chill, not very scripted, very spontaneous session. And we're hoping to keep it that way. And we're going to call the series Creative Sanctuary with Tam and Jan, or Jan, I should say Jen, rather. Tam and Jen, or Jen and Tam. Either way, it will be a creative sanctuary, and you are very welcome to come and join us. And we're hoping to do it sort of roughly monthly. And so I'm really looking forward to sharing this series with you. What I've said before, I mentioned before, probably in my newsletter. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in my previous video, but I did mention it. Sorry, I don't remember now. I am looking to create more connecting spaces. More let's chat, share vulnerably, support each other, excuse me, and art about it, that sort of thing. And so this is also part of that idea. So I hope you enjoy our chat, and so we're creating some artwork during the chat, and then because I didn't really finish my journal page, I then continued on after the session, and I'm sharing a time lapse of that at the end. And like I said, next time we'll likely be, if we can figure the tech out, which I think we can, we will be sharing our desks while we're working as well. Up to, we'll see how we go. We might share a bit of mine, a bit of hers, maybe just a bit of face. We're not sure yet. We're going to take it as we go, and we're going to be really chill and very kind about it all, and very accepting and loving. And I hope you enjoy it. And if you make anything in response to our session, please share with me in my Facebook group, Willowing and Friends, details in the description below. And do check out Jennifer's social media and her website as well. And we'd love to hear from you. If you have any ideas on what you'd like us to discuss next time, that'd be really helpful as well, because we can maybe use that as a prompt each time. Something like that would be really fun. And anyway, thank you for watching. And if you enjoy this session, do of course check out some of my other classes if you want to, and subscribe to the channel and the newsletter and all that sort of stuff. It's all in the description below. I am very, very happy to connect with you on all of the social medias, wherever you are. Well, almost all of them, I think. And I think that's it. Enjoy the session, and I will see you again soon, I hope. Much love. Big hugs. Bye. Bye. Recording in progress.
She's so friendly.
Recording in progress. Have you
I have pressed record of you.
Okay, and I have pressed record of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't know what we're going to do.
No.
Shall we
introduce ourselves?
Healing.
Shall we introduce ourselves to the audiences?
Okay, let's do that.
Because I'll put it on my YouTube and you put it on yours or wherever.
Okay. Okay, how about I was going to say I'll introduce you, but let's not do that. We could introduce ourselves. Stop overcomplicating it, Jennifer. Okay. So I'm Jennifer Westcott. My little girl name, well, I don't know why I feel like saying that, but I do, is Wee Jenny.
Oh, sweet.
When I lived in Scotland, I was called Wee Jenny in my family. And so I go by Wee Jenny sometimes. And I'm a therapist and I'm an artist of sorts. And what else? I'm a mother of 2 young adults. Terrifying.
Yes.
And I like using art and healing together. Like flow state meets my deepest fear and come out the other side feeling different. That's my whole formula right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why we connected, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
That is why.
So yes, very similar. So in that sense. So I'm Tamara Laporte, and I'm a mixed media artist, online art teacher, author, and I too like utilizing the creative process for self-development, personal healing, and these sorts of things. And Jen and I met, how long ago was our first interview?
Maybe a few months ago.
Yeah, late last year. We had a really great time chatting, and then we thought maybe we can do a paint and chat together and share it online. And so this is what we're going to do today. And we just thought
we have no plan.
No.
I have a loose plan in my head, I have to say. And part of my loose plan is I wanted to start with a reading. Have you ever seen this book? Because it gets me in the mood. I often read out of this book, Circle of Stones.
No, I don't know it.
By Judith Duerk. Oh, it sets the tone for me to go inward.
I like it. Go
so
for
it. Let's invite that. Okay, here we go. I picked a page that I love. Okay. To discover who she is, a woman must descend into her own depths. She must leave the safe role of remaining a faithful daughter of the collective around her and descend into her individual feeling values. It will be her task to experience her pain, the pain of her own unique feeling values that calls to her, pressing to emerge. To discover who she is, a woman must trust the places of darkness, where she can meet her own deepest nature and give it a voice, weaving the threads of her life into a fabric to be named and given, sharing it with the women around her as she comes to a true and certain sense of herself.
Beautiful.
Oh, what if we just did that as sort of a theme? We have some darkness.
Yeah.
And we're going to get in touch with it.
Okay.
Whatever it may be.
Okay, and here I came with, I'm going to do a whimsical girl.
Are you? Okay.
This is what I prepared, but that comes anyway, because a lot of my darkness comes from my childhood.
Mine too. What a coincidence.
I know, but it's not funny. But
here's what I came with.
Yeah, what did you come with?
My journal.
Your journal.
Nothing.
Oh, love it.
Okay, what do you have for supplies that are handy?
Oh, well, I have, so this, on my desk, I always have my my watercolors, Schminke. I like that as a brand. And then I have my crayons, my water-soluble crayons. These guys, they are.
You got me onto those, and I love them.
Yes.
And I had never heard of them.
No?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. But they've been around for a long time now. And then I have some acrylic inks, usually, that I like. These These are fluid, like really fluid inks,
Yes.
acrylics. And then I have a bit of this Ceram coat. This is more heavy-bodied acrylic. This is more of a crafty acrylics. Usually I use this for a bit of sort of skin tone. And then I have a range of pencils always lying around, mixed up pastel pencils as well as color pencils, and then as well as Stabilo All, and then also
Ooh,
sorry,
the best.
I'm mixed media, mixed media, and then
Me too.
color pencils as well. Sometimes I use collage, but I didn't think I was going to do that. And then markers. So yeah, markers, Posca pens for details usually.
Yes.
And I may end up using some more heavy body acrylics. In fact, I just need to grab my white acrylics here. So.
I'm gonna have to grab everything.
Oh, okay. Well, I sat.
have-
Okay. Well, I went like I'm going to be on my desk, have it all ready.
I love it. I have, what do I have handy? I have some Poscas because love affair.
Yeah.
I have a few bits of paper,
My eye is weird. Yeah.
bits of collage that are sort of leftover from last night's collage. I have markers, alcohol.
Oh, alcohol markers. Yeah.
And I have this lovely, you know why I love this? Because of the pencil case. I don't even know what's in it, but I love unrolling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have odds and ends of different things.
Yeah.
I have some little collage. Somebody gave me, I'm part of a support group that likes to remain anonymous.
Okay.
And out of that support group, someone gifted me all the prayers to higher power. And I have those in my journal. I haven't used them yet. So that's what I'm working with.
Nice.
And if I need something else, I'm going to reach.
Yeah, behind
grab
you.
it.
You have lots of interesting, I like your background, lots of stuff behind you there that's available.
A lot. And it's not cleaned up, but that's okay. Oh, and you know what else I brought? I have these cards and I thought they're all questions. And sometimes when I don't know what I'm going to do, I pull a card. You can make your own little set of questions. I pull a card, and between the reading and the card, we're going to come up with something.
Love it.
Shuffle. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Random question. Oh, I hate that question. I'm putting that. I hate that question.
That means something if you hate that.
Should I tell you what it is?
Yeah, what was
and
it?
The reason I hate it?
Yeah.
What motivates you to do your best?
Oh, okay. To do your
best. To do your best. I don't want to do my best. I want to actually let the best go.
Yeah. Where are these cards from?
I'm not sure where I got them. They're just simple.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, here's something. What is one thing I can remove from my life that would improve it?
Okay.
Okay, let's have that loosely in our heads.
Yeah, that's always a bit of a a confrontational question. Like when people go, I feel called out. That's that question, isn't it? Where we
let's
go.
Let's not call ourselves out.
Yeah, no.
Let's call ourselves in.
Yeah, but.
Oh, yeah.
What can we do? All right, well.
Why don't we start this way? Why don't we do a minute of writing from our inner child?
Oh, I like that.
To our adult self with our non-dominant hand.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And in response to that question?
Well,
or anything.
Anything, because it's already there swimming around in our unconscious.
Sure.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, I like that. Okay, but hold on. I started just at the first skin layer, so hold on. Let me just finish that. Otherwise it'll.
And here's one of my thoughts that I do when for anyone who is not feeling like they are an artist, I often feel that way. Mm-hmm. It's about process today.
Yeah.
It's about what comes up for us versus creating the product.
Sure.
How about that? For me.
That's good to know.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm going to write that in her hair. Sorry. So I pre-created a creature. I like doing, I know that sometimes I start spontaneously, but I like having something on the page that will start me off, if you get what I'm saying. So that's why
I do.
Already there. Right. Non-dominant hand.
Non-dominant hand. I'm going to say, Dear Big Jennifer.
Okay.
That's the beginning,
It's so hard to write. Sorry.
right?
It's so
And
hard to write with your
it
non-dominant hand.
puts you in the little girl feels.
Sorry, that's so hard to do.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I have done this before. My poor. Sorry, I'm just interrupting your flow state, aren't I? I'm like blah 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 blah.
That's okay. I think I'm done. I
Okay.
feel like I've done it.
I couldn't even spell it correctly because I'm writing with the left hand. That's so funny.
I definitely
It's
wouldn't want
so
someone else
funny.
to have to read it.
Well, I also have. I've just have one sentence, but it says a lot to me.
Me too. You go first.
Okay, so mine says, "Dear Tam, I don't know who's we as a kid, but anyway, we need you to let go of self-judgment."
Oh.
Because she said, what would be good to let go of?" But self-judgment was spelled Judement. And I'm like, I didn't do that deliberately, you see. I really was like,
Yeah.
how do you spell this? And then also
Oh.
my left hand felt very like like what are you doing to me? Why are you embarrassing me?
Oh. Yes. Thus the need for the loss of self-judgment.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what came out for
Yeah.
me, and it surprised me. When you said that about how your left hand felt, mine felt wobbly and fragile, which often is a feeling I've avoided in my life, like
Oh,
not wanting to be
yeah.
fragile and vulnerable. I said, Dear Big Jen, I like your outfit. My
Nice.
little girl, when I was a little girl, I loved makeup and jewelry and clothing. And whenever I pay attention to that part, I feel her.
Yeah.
She loves that dressing up in it.
Nice.
I like your outfit and I want to be part of this. Please don't leave me out.
Oh.
That kind of surprised me because I think, yeah, sometimes I've felt left out in my life, in
Yeah.
my family
Yeah.
as a child. And so I would write back and say, You're with me. We're doing it
Oh,
together.
yeah. Shall we write back to them?
Okay,
Right
let's
back.
write back.
Okay. It's funny that because my other right hand wants to stay
With
child.
your
I want,
with your dominant hand this time.
yeah, but my
Yeah.
hand wants to stay childlike though, so it's really funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And,
Oh, okay, this is what has come out, and I love it already. I love it. I said, "Dear Jenny, let's do this together, and will you be my partner?" You know, in school when you had to pick partners
yeah.
and you just wanted this earring fell out, and you just wanted someone to, like,
Your friend. Yeah.
ask you to be your partner. Yeah,
Oh,
taking these off.
I
Taking off
feel
the big
myself
earring.
taking really deep breaths and really heart opening to what you're saying.
Mhm. Me too.
My one said, "Dear Tam, yes, it's painful. Oh, see, to judge ourselves. Let's not do that anymore."
Oh, judge-free zone.
I mean, I would
Let's
try.
not.
I would try my very best.
Let's not judge ourselves. That is actually a big achievement to even have 10 minutes of judge-free
Mm,
flow, isn't it?
mm, yeah.
Okay, how about we start with anything that comes up that you wanna do on what is one thing I can remove from my life that would improve it? Let's just take 5 and do some whatever you're gonna do. And then at the end, our time together, we could show what came out.
Do you mean drawing or painting or writing? Anything, yes?
Well, why don't we do, sometimes I do a rule for myself of no words.
Okay, sure, sure, sure. Well, okay, but okay, well,
Symbols or
sorry, symbols. Oh, I see.
symbols or drawing or painting, whatever you have there,
Sure.
anything.
Okay,
And I would like to confess that I'm not a drawer
okay.
and I'm going to do symbols.
Hmm. I love
Of
symbols. I do an exercise also in my book. I do it in Ever After book. I have two books, and one of them is about symbols and making your personal symbols rather than using existing symbols. And the way it's very similar to the non-dominant hand, where you whatever your usually this is related to needs in my case, where we'll uncover a need, and then in order to represent the need, you close your eyes and you use your non-dominant hand and you start to just draw, and then you might see a squiggle, and then you can start to refine that symbol into a
a
beautiful symbol of some
personal.
sort, and it becomes your personalized symbol. It's really
I'm
nice.
going to do that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
really
going to do a
cool.
personal symbol on
Yeah.
here
So I want to do
over top of my writing. Okay,
that's nice. I want
here
to
we
do
go.
maybe a a symbol for letting go would be cool, and then of self judgment might be more specific with it in my case. Okay, so right. Mhm.
Do you ever draw a circle and just feel so proud that it looks round? I just did that. Look,
Yeah, that's
it's so round.
amazingly round. Ah,
It doesn't usually happen.
okay.
You know, the thing I love about art, which I'm about to ruin, is how quiet it is. When I've done art groups
Yeah.
in my studio, it's complete quiet,
Hmm.
and I love that.
Yeah, people really go into themselves and really kind of become very present to their inner world, and it's a real
Our
beautiful
soul.
meditative state, isn't it? The flow state that you're describing.
Yeah, it's our soul in there.
We need to have like a little jingle in the background. So we were both quiet. It has to be like elevator music. Boom, dum, dum.
Yeah, we could add that.
I feel like the stuff that comes up for me is always this, not always the same, but I'm still working with the same themes I always work with. And even though, they lessen the problems I have with them have lessened over the years. Um, it's still stuff that's there for me, like letting go of self-judgment, these sorts of things.
Mm.
Much therapy and as I've done. I don't think, oh no, I was going to say, I don't think there's anything in my life that has fully resolved, but that's not entirely true. Actually, there are some things that have fully resolved, but
What
some,
do you what do you feel like has fully resolved for you?
I had quite some, I had social anxiety, but less anxiety, more, it was very specific to if the relationship wasn't clear between me and the people, and it was just friendship. Like I could be in work situations. If I had a really clear relationship dynamic, I wouldn't have anxiety. But if I met a new group of people or something, I had kind of quite strong resistance towards going, and I managed to somehow, with a lot of work and digging deep, to overcome that. So I genuinely, I have overcome that. Not sort of
Well, yeah, or you wouldn't be here with me right
yeah.
now.
Yes.
I mean, this is brand new for you and me,
Yeah.
and we don't really know each other
Mm.
that well,
Mhm.
although a little
Yeah.
bit, and yet here you are. So yes, you have.
Yeah.
How often do we talk and let ourselves talk about what we have overcome,
Yeah, it's a good point, isn't it? Yeah,
right?
not that much. Yeah, not that much.
I'm trying to think if I've overcome anything. Well, interestingly, I would say my relationship with alcohol.
Okay.
I'm in sobriety for almost 17 years now,
Wow.
and I really don't. I don't ever sort of take it for granted and think it'll never ever happen to me. Like I'm smart enough to know I have to be vigilant, but work a program, but I really don't think about it. And alcohol for me, growing up with a Scottish family who drank a lot,
Yeah.
it was just so in the fabric of our everything.
Hmm.
And I couldn't imagine a life where it wasn't part of every holiday and every, you know?
Yeah.
And now I don't even think about it. I
Right.
really,
Right. And is that
and that took a lot.
did you do a program around that, or were you sort
Yeah.
of right? Okay.
Yeah, I did. I did a support group that I still go to.
Right.
And so, I mean, I still work it all the time.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't, and I guess that's the thing. Like, you probably worked your issue, you resolved quite a lot to get to the point where it's not a pressing issue anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't just go by itself, that's for sure.
Sure. Sure. Sure. No. No. You have to. Yeah. You have to face things, and also sometimes I find with therapy, it's sometimes just so hard to even know what's going on in the first place. So what I mean is like you know you have issues, but to really figure out where has it come from, how do I address this, is not that easy. I don't, sometimes I found
No.
myself sort of trying to chase down a particular path on a particular issue and then realized, oh, that's not really where the issue
Oh, I know.
is. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I totally do. I mean, the joke in therapy is you come in with one problem and you leave with 25.
Well, that's another thing.
But I think it's that sort of the beautiful unconscious in us. Like there's so many things that drive our behavior, my behavior that I am not aware of the roots of until
Yeah.
I have a way, usually therapy or art gives me because there's no accidents ever in art, is there? And so it just gives me this insight into something that I had no idea
Mm.
that my drinking was related to so much buried trauma.
Right.
I just
Yeah.
thought I liked
Yeah.
to drink.
Yeah.
I didn't know how connected it all was.
Yeah.
I guess that's why therapists, leave it to them to
Yeah.
help you
Yeah.
figure
Have a job.
Yeah.
But I have to say, even with my therapy, I've not all, I mean, sometimes, not always, but I found moments where I'm like, I don't think we're both really figuring this out. I mean, I'm a very proactive, uh,
Client.
yeah, client. I was going to say student. Um,
Well, that too, yeah.
and sometimes some therapists, not all, will go down, or have a different method or something to you, and you're like, nah, I don't think that's right.
Right.
And depending on how complex your trauma is, it can be hard to really kind of, get to the bottom of it. But art, I think, is a really great, super great
Oh,
complement to it because it accesses different parts of you, that are harder
totally.
to access through talk therapy or um, any other kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes um therapy is not necessarily like sometimes I've gone to therapy and I just end up getting lost in intellectualizing
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Whereas art, I
Yeah.
I go down into myself every single time, even if it doesn't seem like it.
Mm,
Like even as I'm drawing what I'm drawing right now, I'm like, oh, I know what this means.
mm,
And I don't know if I knew before I
yeah.
started drawing it. I just was drawn to draw it.
Yeah.
Drawn to draw it. Yeah.
Would you show us your symbol or you?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where it's at right now.
Oh,
It's
you're doing
kind of
huge. You're doing loads. A nice one.
it's kind of a mandala.
Yeah.
I was thinking a lot about yesterday. I had this awareness that I still feels kind of fragile, but I've had this awareness that I seek out excitement. And sometimes the things I do to seek out excitement are not good for my life.
Mm,
Like I'll get obsessed about things, and sometimes they're stupid things, but I'm trying to get a hit of aliveness. And I don't want to. Yesterday, what I realized was I want to be more mindful of how I do that. And so, in this inner circle is is all the things that I love that are dear and I need to protect. I don't know what these petals are. And then the green is like growing. I love that my head is like leaning against
Yeah.
this book. And then the green feels like growing creativity and creative projects as a way to feel alive
Yeah.
versus obsessing over stupid things like the contest on the radio
Right. Yeah.
that I end up like, or like, why am I watching hours of live livestock births on YouTube?
Right.
Why? Why am I doing that? Like, I I
It's the
don't want to waste my time on
yeah.
stuff that isn't life giving for me.
Isn't life? It's yeah. I
Yeah, so
I
that's
think the
what's
purple
up.
the purple leaves petals feel both protective but also opening, like a little
Mm,
like a
yeah,
little.
and rich. I
Yeah.
want this richness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what came out for me. Simple and it feels good. And I love these swirls. I don't know who told me this. Somebody told me once that that swirly symbol
Yeah.
is the symbol of source or universe or God or higher power, whatever you want to call it. And
Nice.
I tend to put them on everything. They're woven into many things. So, I mean, I guess what that says to me is it's not just I don't have to be alone trying to sort myself out.
Yes,
Like
you
there is
are
something
held.
bigger. Yeah, there's something
Yeah.
bigger.
Nice.
Let's see yours. Are you ready to share?
Sure, sure. I didn't do loads on the Simnel, but here is so far the look what I just read. Oh shit! What I just realized is look, she's bleeding. She's crying a bleeding tear. You see that?
That is the first thing I noticed.
Yeah. Well, because there was extra water still there, I thought, oh, I could leave that. So that's the symbol that came up
Ooh,
subconsciously, like just to let go. The word,
yeah.
the hair, and then I'm just painting her face. But that I like that sort of thing where you get weird things happen to an eye or a facial feature, and of course,
Yeah.
self judgment. I think is one of the harshest, in my case, one of the worst things. When I enter into a state of self judgment, I first of all often don't realize that I do. So I don't have a very obvious self judgment process where it's like loud voice going, "You're such a terrible person." That doesn't happen so obviously.
Yeah.
I often just find myself in deep depression and go, I don't know what's going on. Why am I this depressed? And then when I look back on a string of events, I'll see that they may have gone wrong or I haven't heard from a person or something is a string of events have happened where there's been some sort of negative interaction. And what I
Mm.
do subconsciously or have always done is that I go, well, I'm clearly in the wrong or I am the bad person
Oh,
here. Well,
yeah.
actually,
Guilt.
there's, well,
Guilty.
well, more just
It's my fault.
super self-dismissive, like clearly I am in the wrong or whatever I've done or whatever's going. And then I don't but I don't have a very conscious process. It's just more that there's a virus just running that just goes, oh, clearly I am unworthy or I don't matter or I don't, those sorts of things. And that is so destructive that I usually, if that's happened in a series of events, that I'm become really depressed, where I can hardly function and just don't, don't become basically incapable of doing anything. And of course, that's like crying blood. Do you know what I mean? That's a
Yes.
heavy as it feels actually. So that's funny. So that symbolism, right? The bits where you draw and paint, and then you go, oh, what does that mean? Does that mean anything? Is that trying to tell me something? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
When you said earlier we should have some background music playing, I had a therapist once who said, and it feels like what you're describing. He said that the judge, when people put music in an elevator years and years ago,
Yeah.
it was to have this subliminal effect on them of calming them down in an elevator.
Really? Oh,
That's what I heard. And he said the judge works the same way. It's so in the background and it's
yeah.
so woven into the experience. And its goal is to sort of, I mean, without going too deep,
Yeah.
part of it is to kind of have this effect of tamping you down all the time. Like it's this sort of voice that's playing that you can't quite hear and you haven't noticed it's even there, but it's affecting us, right?
Mm.
My judge is like that too. And it's like we have to turn the volume up to hear what it's saying
Yes.
and deal with it.
Yeah. Yes.
Otherwise, we end up in bed
Yeah.
and going, what has happened? I
Yes.
thought things were okay.
For sure. Yeah. I
Oh,
had that very recently. I was very not okay for a while.
what got you back?
Well, it's funny because that's what I was trying to tell you earlier, that sometimes I'm not sure, if it's a chemical thing, because I am dealing with perimenopause at the moment, and I've literally just
Oh,
started on
dear.
HRT.
Me too.
Eh,
Like about 2 months ago.
Oh, okay, me like a month. Well, I'm sort of 3 weeks in, and then I think it's a combination probably of chemical, like chemical situation, as well as old viral programs running, as well as new things being upsetting, like a combo of all of it. But
Yep.
there was basically a particular thing going on in my life, and I did work with my therapist actually, which was very deep and specific, where I had discovered. So I was just telling you about uh, that. Let's say if I don't hear back from a couple of friends or something for a while, instead of thinking, my brain doesn't go, instead of thinking, oh, they must be busy, there's something going on in their lives, my brain goes, not consciously, but my brain goes,
Mhm.
clearly I don't matter. And I was
Yeah.
discussing this with my therapist. I said, my story is, if X, then I don't matter. Whatever, if something happens, whatever the thing, I don't matter. And she said, well, so her methodology of work is family constellations, and in it you do
Oh,
vows. I don't know if you're familiar with the vow thing. And she said,
yeah.
everything you think, everything you believe, was usually originally there to serve you. So she said,
Yeah.
wow, how would this serve you to think, if this person doesn't reply to me, it means I don't matter. How does that serve you? And I said, well, I don't know, because it doesn't serve me. But it seems like that's just how I feel, and that seems the truth. She said, well,
Mhm.
ever think about it. So then I started talking to Andy, my husband, about it. He knows a lot about my life. He says to listen to a lot of my shit.
Like they do.
Yeah.
The good ones.
Yeah. And then I realized, see, when I was a kid, I was bullied a lot and rejected a lot as a child. And I realized this was an amazing sort of giving an insight that as a kid, it was very humiliating to want friendship, to be picked, like you were just saying before about want to be picked, want to be picked, want to be part of a group, but be rejected and have to almost beg for people's love and people's inclusion. And I decided as a kid that I'd rather I'd rather not matter to them than matter, because if
Mhm.
I matter, I'm going to have to go back to begging for love.
Pain.
I'm going to have to ask for the love and say, hey, why didn't you reply? Aren't I worthy? Aren't I, And that's so humiliating that I'd rather decide that must not matter. But feeling like I don't matter really hurts me as well. See what I mean? And so, but it was such a great insight, that I
Yeah.
decided to, because in her work, you let go of the vow. So you work
Right.
on letting go of the vow that you made. The vow means a belief system you've put in place or an
A
agreement
rule.
with yourself.
Yeah.
And then I reached out to several friends, well, particularly one friend who I thought didn't, had sort of let me go a little bit, to say, hey, would you be willing to talk with me maybe once every 2 weeks or so that and that was an amazing move, because I really made an active attempt at requesting something which put me in a vulnerable position, right? So sort of so I made
Yeah.
the action of saying, would you please be my friend and hang out with me, like in an active way, rather than, because I'm quite passive. But I mean, it's like people must come
Yeah.
to me to be my friend, and I will go to you if I feel you're safe. But if
Right.
I think there's a chance of rejection, or I feel vulnerable, I'm likely to just wait and let people come to me, if you see what I'm saying. Mostly because I
I
just am
totally do. And
scared of
then,
rejection and vulnerability. And that was that was, I think, a starting point for me coming out of that depressive phase. But there was
yeah.
more that, yeah, and it was a really amazing
Yeah.
insight. But you see what I mean by, like, it's so complex sometimes that we, as a kid,
Mhm.
do something, decide something subconsciously, or our brain development develops a certain way because of an experience we have. And then here you are, 45 years later going, why am I
I
behaving
know.
this way?
Yeah,
What is
and
going on?
it's such a big deal to sort of have this appreciation that the judge has been trying to protect you
Yeah,
since the
I know.
beginning,
That's
but
true.
then it overfunctions, like it
And yeah,
malfunctions because
and
we want
basically,
the opposite of what it like, we want I mean, my judge has done similar things to me, and
mm,
I often feel like shedding that original protection
yeah,
is like turning my underbelly to the world, but it's not. It's growing up, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
emotionally, which a
yeah.
lot of people do not do.
No,
Like, it's too scary.
yeah.
I mean, looking at some of this stuff is for the brave, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
I
I
think
agree. I agree. It's very, very brave to go into therapy and sit with your pain and being
oh,
willing to go, oh, that's what I do. I do that. Oh, I do this. Oh, I do.
oh,
It's exhausting, but
horrible.
it does pay off, and also it pays off. Again for the next generations to come.
Yeah.
Your kids benefit from you doing your own work. You know what I mean? So it's
What
a
is
really
that? There's a saying about that. Something like we pass our undone healing to our children to
yeah.
heal.
Yes, that's right. I've heard that one as well. So if you
Yeah.
feel it, then they don't have to.
You
You know
don't
what I
need
mean?
to.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But it isn't an easy journey. It's a tricky one. And like I say, I mean, I literally was sitting with my therapist the other day. I said, "This is freaking unfair," because
Oh, yeah, you got angry. I love it.
I did
That's what you need.
because other people traumatize you, right? Whatever. Your parents might be shit, or you'll have a horrible community, or you're being bullied, and then it's up to me to go and sort that out now later. Like I'm like, well, it
Right.
should be them who sort it out because they
That's
caused it.
right.
Now I'm left with the having to heal it. I'm like, but I didn't cause this. You did. You know what I mean? Like, so I got really
Oh,
like
yeah.
frustrated because I'm like, I
Love
want
it.
to resolve this, but I can't figure out what. I'm like, and now I'm just left with this burden to resolve a shitload of stuff. you know.
Oh my God, you're just putting into words such
Mm,
human, I
mm.
think, things about like resenting the wound and
Yeah,
resenting the work that it brings when we didn't wound ourselves.
exactly. We didn't even do it ourselves. That's what I'm saying. It's like, thank you. Now,
Yeah.
and now I'm,
Now I have a lifetime of work ahead of
yeah,
me
now
and I
this,
get
this, and this.
big
And on top of
therapy
that, I
bill.
also have to live a normal life. Like, I have to live the world of paying bills and all that, but also, all this stuff that's there for me that I have to,
I
it's a
know.
double work now. Anyway, I mean, I'm fine. Sometimes I'm like,
Of course we
sometimes
are. We're
really, yeah,
better than fine when we're in that kind of connection with our own pain.
yeah.
I think so many types of messages from culture, I would say, tell us to seek happiness, and there isn't enough messages about it's the answer is inside the pain.
Well, that's true, isn't it? There's a beautiful.
Ah,
Have you seen that beautiful image? I share it all the time on social media that says, "I'm not trying to." What's it? I'm not trying to erase my darkness or something. I'm trying to sit in it and love it or something. And it's a really beautiful. And it's a
yes.
Jungian quote, I think. It's from Jung. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure. I think sitting with the dark and sitting with the difficulties
And going there,
can
not
be very liberating and relieving and beautiful in many ways as well.
very.
But when it,
And it doesn't just gloss over it and because
no,
it'll come back. I mean, if we don't really, even facing the
that's true.
anger of
Yeah,
how unfair it is to have to do it
yeah. That's the
is
thing, isn't it? Even if
yeah,
you don't do it, even if you don't do the work, it will come and haunt you.
it
That's
will.
I say the same.
Un Unprocessed stuff leaks out.
Yeah.
I gotta get a little bit of water and activate.
Do. Did
Need
you
to
work?
activate my watercolor pencil.
Oh, nice. I was just going to
And
ask if you worked with what
I'm the
supply it was that you worked with.
it is these what beautiful Faber-Castell. Is that it? Faber-Castell. Faber-Castell
Because
watercolor pencils.
yeah.
And I am the queen of, so I'm just doing it the way I do it when I'm alone. I just get the water and I just do it with my hands.
Say,
I don't even use a brush.
oh, I've not heard that before. That's cool.
I love, I had this hairdresser once and I went and saw her and she was coloring hair all day and her hands were black. And I
Right.
said, "What the heck are you doing?" And she said, "I just love coloring hair without gloves
Ooh,
because I love the color going into my hands and I love seeing it." And I thought, "Oh my gosh, that's what I'm like as an artist. I love doing it with my hands."
yeah,
Unless I'm doing something that I'm trying to be precise, but
yeah,
feeling of, like, the color infusing into my skin
yeah.
makes me so happy. It feels like I'm part of the picture,
Nice.
and it's part of me, like, I just imagine it coming in.
Yeah. I do that when I used to do that with a bigger work on a canvas, and when I'm painting with acrylics, and a little bit actually on paper when I'll use a bit of my fingers, not as much though as I do on canvas.
And I'm gonna randomly pick a stencil from the drawer behind me
Yeah.
and put a little stencil on with a marker. How about that? I don't know how I would have actually survived
Without art.
without art.
No, that's what a therapist once told me. She said, "I don't think you'd still be here without art."
Yeah, like, I know not everybody's into art, but I've found too the people that say, "Oh, I'm not an artist, I can't do art, I'm not gonna do it." They end up having these profound experiences if they let themselves
Mm,
just try it,
yeah,
because it is like a direct route to our soul, our unconscious.
I agree. I found that on Lifebook. As you know, I've written Lifebook, run Lifebook for many years, which was all
Yes.
about art and personal development. And a lot of people there would be people that go, "Oh no, I'm not really into that," or they'll write and say, "I don't really want to. I'm not going to do the self stuff, the self development stuff." And then someone decides to do it after all, and then they're really really surprised.
Right, with what
How
happens.
yeah, by how impactful it was for them.
Yeah, I don't like that color I just did.
Hmm. What color
It's
was
in the
it?
ugly stage.
That's okay. We all get through that. We all have a ugly stage, and then we get through it.
Yes.
Well,
I
not always. I have loads of art pieces in this journal that I don't like, and have
right?
abandoned. I'm willing to share.
Oh.
I do this on.
That would be such a fun thing to share about is
Yeah,
let's display our abandoned projects that we just couldn't make
yeah,
happen. That'd be fun. It's
yeah,
kinda like reclaiming our ugly parts of ourselves
yeah.
and just loving it and
The
putting it on
shadow. Yeah.
display.
I do it. I have done this. I do on my YouTube channel. I used to. I haven't done a episode in a while called Fill a Journal. Finish a Journal. Have you heard of me doing that?
Yes, I have actually.
Yeah, and in that, I just go through all the pages in the journals that I don't like, and I'm still meant to work on it. Either meant to, in the sense because I've been attempting to finish
Yes.
the journal for about
Meaning
years
to.
now. Yeah, and I just can't seem to. I keep starting new pages and stuff. And in there, you can see loads of pages just don't like, and I'm either going to gesso over them or work on them. I did do one or two where I transformed a face that I didn't like, and then I transform it into something else. That's kind of cool as well.
Ooh,
But
that's really cool.
yeah, sometimes they're just if I make something I don't like, it's hard sometimes to go back to it or to try and re-engage with it. It's not so.
I know I have one sitting. I'll show it to you because it's right beside me, and I hate it every time I look at it. Are you ready? It's
Okay.
big.
Okay.
Where was I going with this?
Oh, well, it's very expressive. I can't show it a bit closer. Is this both collage and yeah, and paint?
It's actually black gesso, which I had never used before.
Yeah.
I black gessoed over a picture and then started to collage. Oh, it has one
It
quote on
feels
it
like
that
a
says,
spider. Like it's like a
"Way
spider.
share my soul with the
Sorry.
world."
Oh, okay. It feels a bit
Oh,
like a
it's
spider
pretty.
creature. Can you see the spider in it?
Yeah, actually. Maybe I should make it a spider.
I feel like this raw. This is very raw. Like a emotional rawness to it.
And the quote is, "The way I share my soul with the world." was on one of the pieces of collage.
I like that. See, that's quite
Dark.
very symbolic
That's
and very deep. Yeah,
dark. I share my dark with the world.
I like it.
That's true.
There's always more to be found in those.
Yeah, I have to kind of push myself through the
Yeah,
it's too ugly
yeah,
stage.
yeah. I know what you mean.
Okay, I think I have. Okay, I've got another little part to our exercise here when you're
Okay.
ready. And then this would help us wind it up. Either on a different page or on that page, wherever you want to do it.
Mhm.
Let's do 1 minute of writing about this picture.
Picture. Our picture. The one that
Yeah,
you
the
put
picture
on.
we just did.
Okay.
And then we're going to do something with that. So actually, let's do about 1.5 minutes. Just free write and don't stop writing. Stream of consciousness.
Okay. While you do that, I just want to blow dry my face.
Okay. See, I can't even hear that
What?
at all.
What?
Can't hear it.
Oh, really? So that's
Yeah.
that must be the noise cancellation.
Yeah, I can only hear you.
Once I start talking, you probably can hear it.
No?
It's amazing that it's able to distinguish between voice and
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Okay. Done.
Okay, did you do your writing?
Yeah.
Okay, here's a little quick process we can do. Go through the writing and underline the words or phrases that stand out the most to you for any reason. You don't have to say why, just underline them.
Okay.
And once you've done that, using those words as sort of inspiration or literally, write a little poem from the words.
Ooh, I like it.
Any kind of poem. It doesn't have to be good, it doesn't have to rhyme, anything.
Okay.
Okay. Are you close?
Yeah.
And here's the last step. Pick a
Okay.
one-word title for your poem.
One word.
One word. Oh my gosh, I know what it is. Oh my! Full circle moment. Try this way. From your stomach up.
No, it's the problem is that it has to be one word. I'm gonna just go over 2 words, if that's okay.
Fair enough. You can break the rules. I don't mind. Okay. In art therapy, they call this distilling. And the idea that I learned was you start broad and you distill the meaning by writing, by underlining, by the poem. And by the time you get to that 1 or 2 words, that is the essence of what's happened in this process.
Nice. I like it.
Okay, you want to share?
Yeah, my poem or all of it.
Whatever you choose. What do you want to do?
Okay, I'll read the poem.
Okay.
It's called Let Go.
Oh,
She needs justice. I want her to be okay and whimsical and strong and resolute and vulnerable. Let go of this. She matters.
Beautiful. Love it.
But those were most of the words that I underlined, but with some additional stuff in the poem, if you see what I'm saying. But yeah.
And what does it mean to you? As
Well,
how does it feel?
it's funny because we started off with childhood. No, what did we start off with? Oh, what should
Inner
you let go
child.
of? No, yeah, inner child, and then your card was could you let go of, right, in your life that
Yeah.
would make your life better. And then we talked about um as I talked about self-judgment, but then I shared with you the thing about the vulnerability and not wanting to be vulnerable. But the funny thing was in the writing about this girl that I've just painted was something like, I want her to be okay, but she seems whimsical now and shows up as she is, and that is vulnerable. And I thought, oh, that's great, because that's what I was just discussing. So because we just discussed this insight that I had recently, it sort of brought it all together. And so it for
Oh,
now represents um this recent sort of feeling that I've gone through. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. I
oh,
like it.
I love it.
Nice. Yeah. Cool process, actually. What about you? What about yours?
Okay, I'll read my poem. I called it Partner. Centered and grounded in love, I am encircled with color, with flowers. I'm going to do this here. I am rooted for and cheered on randomly, nonsensically. New shapes burst out. I can do this for you if you like. Will you be my partner?
Oh,
Oh,
so beautiful. So
and
sweet.
I feel like here's my finished
Yeah.
page.
Nice.
I feel like I am saying that to myself. Like I feel like I'm maybe it's the menopause, perimenopause.
Yeah.
Like it feels like more of an inner time for me than ever before,
What
where
you,
I for the first time in my life, I'm starting to make peace with just being with me,
yeah.
being my own partner. And I've needed so much at times from other people, and I want to get it from me for once.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I wanna feel like what I can give myself is enough,
Nice. Beautiful.
and maybe it is sometimes, and maybe it's not sometimes. I mean, I'm always gonna need other people.
Nice. Well,
Thank you
that's
so much.
lovely, though. Thank you for sharing. It's nice how we kind of went, we don't know what we're going to do. And then we had loads to discuss, and
Yeah,
just like, it just flows from one sort of insight to another, and sharing to another. It's really nice. It's really nice to do this, to connect with you over this and
I
share.
feel like it's a good way to start the day for me.
Yeah, let's do it every day.
Okay.
Like, morning pages. But I guess
Yeah.
it is a good way of doing it. It's nice. And then when you're doing it with someone else who then shares what's up for them, so you get a real beautiful, deeper connection as well. Really nice. Yeah.
Mm.
Let's
And
do
I just want to mention that my judge has not shut up this entire time.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Oh god.
I'm sorry.
It's like Oh, like, I do you ever do that to yourself, like, where you can hear your judge's commentary
Yeah.
running through the
Why you
whole
say
thing?
yeah.
Yeah, "Why are you saying that? You shouldn't be saying that. Why are you doing that?" Oh,
Oh,
anyway.
you were
But
wonderful. I'm gonna say to your judge, no, you were wonderful, Jen.
thanks.
Yeah,
You
I
too,
really
Tam. And
thank
thanks for
you.
having me to your house last night in my
Yeah, in
dream.
your dreams.
You made a beautiful stew as well that
Oh,
I spilled all over the floor, but
that's
that was
probably my That is big dream. That's probably my
I
husband. He makes the stews, not me.
oh, love them for
No,
that.
I really enjoy how you're bringing in the little writing exercises are really fun, and
Mm,
it's just a nice way of getting to some deeper stuff. So it's really great. I
mhm.
enjoyed it.
You're
Let's
a little
definitely do it again.
intimidating.
Maybe not every day, but we'll do it again. And
Maybe once a month. How about
yeah.
that?
And if anyone who's watching,
Yeah.
if you like a maybe a particular topic or a particular something that we maybe do together, and then people can also do it
Oh,
together, can't they?
that'd be
Can do it while we're
lovely.
and just listen to us witter a little bit.
Yes.
Be nice.
And you are at willowing.org,
That's right.
and I am at Therapist Sanctuary.
Yeah, and we'll put links below on YouTube. I'll put links. I'll put a link to Jen in and to
Yeah.
my stuff as well.
Ditto. Me too.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, have a good day and let's do it again.
definitely, definitely. Thank
Okay.
you. All right, much love.
Check it out. See you later.